We live up in this mug.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see.
Cool. I'll make sure I smell good for the people. Just until we start.
What's going on? I just made this joint. Let's see. There we go.
Cool. What happened?
It's lagging.
Oh, okay.
We live though.
Hey, okay, cool. So we on YouTube and
Yeah, I'm about to see.
all of that? Nice. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. Hey, Pat, that Trip Lee concert you opened up for was back in 2012, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Oh, your sound is on?
Mic check, mic check.
All right, cool. Now I was seeing if YouTube was playing.
Hey.
My boy logged in at work. He like, yo, the boss is coming. I look like I'm working.
That's too funny, man.
Let's see.
Your son, you took a random picture of me and just like snapped me or something, man?
Nah.
Oh, okay. I would say this thing is delayed. It look like I'm scheming over here, man. It look like I'm scheming on YouTube, man. Like,
Right.
all right. So we get started about 7:35.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some time for the folks to get in here.
Okay. So I give you all some time to go ahead and get here, get settled in. All right.
Let me see who up in this moment. I'm on this. This is Zach.
Okay.
Yo. Oh, yo, Ken is in here. Kenny in here. He was like, yo, why you putting on cologne when nobody can smell you, dog?
I'm saying, man, I gotta smell good for the people. You know what I mean? You ain't supposed to be behind the curtains anyway, man. What you doing, man? Security.
Everybody get started in like 4 minutes.
4 minutes? All right. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, about to get started in 4 minutes.
Cool.
And then just waiting on, some people to come in, give some time for people to come in.
Got you, got you. So you got the We Live Up in the Smug on repeat, bro?
You said what?
So you got the We Live Up in the Smug on repeat?
Yeah.
That is not on the album. For those of you guys coming in, we're just waiting for everybody to come in. I'm your man, Bless Soul Hip Hop, and we'll be interviewing my man, P.A.T. Jr., Pursuing Absolute Truth. Talking about his next album that's coming out.
Yeah,
You're gonna love it. So just sit tight. We'll be getting started in about 3.5 minutes. Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot of things, man.
You see Kenny in there talking junk,
Yeah, yeah, man.
Let me see how far this joint lagging.
Coming out.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So this is a bit behind that. Hey, so Pat.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say I'm not sure. Did you Is it too delayed to restart it to give the people who are coming in fresh started what they're seeing on their screen? Or are we good to go?
No, we good because after it finishes recording, after we finish, people can watch it over and over again.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, you go ahead and get started if you want to. Ready?
All right. Hey, so what's up, fam? Bam, it's your man, Bless Soul Hip Hop, and we're here interviewing my man, P.A.T. Jr. We're gonna chop it up about his new album, just about the state of hip hop, and just him as an artist. So you all can get to know him. For those of you who are familiar with Pat and his body of work, this will be a pleasure just to see the progression. And for those of you who are new to Pat Jr. and his artistry, this would be a good introduction to check my man out. So Pat, what's up? How you feeling, fam?
Doing pretty good, man. Chilling right now. Just working on some stuff today. Shout out to my man Zach in the room. I was actually editing a Winter Circle video today, exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So I had fun doing that. Did a few sessions today, man. Start a new job next week. Talk about that.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Feeling good right now, man. Loving my wife, all that.
Dope, man. So listen, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, as an artist, man. Tell us about your plight and how'd you get started? How long you been at it, man?
Word. Okay. So I've been. Of course, most people know. For those who don't know, I do video. I write scripts and all that stuff like that. As far as filming is concerned, shoot music videos, video production. Just I guess to put it in a nutshell. I am a. Oh, let me cut my Twitter notifications off. I'm also a recording artist. I do spoken word and rap, and I produce music. I'm getting into the groove of actually producing music now instead of like cats who just make beats. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I am a music producer. And what's actually helped me is that I've been working with a singer lately. Her name is Lizzie Casey, and she's a really dope artist. And so it's actually we're writing, producers who produce music, like they don't just orchestrate the music, they help the writer write the music as well. You know what I mean? So those are the three things that I do. Um, I've been doing all three from, I want to say, like maybe 2 years and some change. I've always been a writer. Like my mom, that's two things that I tell people is that she introduced me to Jesus and she introduced me to hip hop. You know what I mean? So, um,
Two
as
things
far as
everyone needs in their life.
you say it again.
Two things everyone needs in their life, man. Jesus and hip hop. That's
Yeah. So,
a good
yeah, man.
mom.
So like, you know what I mean? When it comes to uh, just writing or whatnot, I've been doing that for a while. Like my mom, I wouldn't. She's a writer. She's not like a poet. Like she doesn't go and perform, poetry. But I still consider her a poet. You know what I mean? So she introduced me to poetry. She put me on Biggie. She put me on Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Tribe Called Quest, and all those guys. So like, I guess more so of the conscious hip hop, if you will. And yeah, so like I've been writing since I was young, but I didn't really start actually like recording projects and taking my craft seriously until I want to say like two and some change ago, 2 years and some change ago, man. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. Nice, man. So I met you back in, I want to say 2012, at a show actually here in Raleigh, Southeast Raleigh, where you were opening up for Trip Lee. And
Yeah.
I remember you got on stage and you did this amazing spoken word piece. So did you start out mainly performing and recording spoken word or hip hop or rap, so to speak?
I started off doing spoken word. I started off doing spoken word because that's how I got into like writing raps. You know what I mean?
Okay.
As far as like figurative language, metaphors, similes, all that stuff. Like that was my introduction to rapping. It was spoken word, So I started doing that first. Um, I didn't really record. I did a little bit just to, I did something in high school. It wasn't really, I wasn't serious about it. It was more so, this is something I like doing. Let me see if I could do it. I was one of those dudes in high
Right.
school that cats be at the lunch table, beating on the table, or outside beating on a trash can, rapping and freestyling and all that stuff like that. So
Right.
I never proclaimed to be a rapper back then. It was just like I just like rapping. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Nice. Nice, man. So, how did you get into like the whole videography piece, man? I've seen some of your pieces, man. Really, really quality pieces, man. Actually, really dope pieces, and I've seen that you've been on your like you said producing grind. Really, really dope stuff, man. I've seen a lot of progression, a lot of quality work. How did you get into those two aspects?
Yeah, so I've always been a movie buff.
Okay.
I love cinema, man. Like I love all kinds of cinema from drama, action, you know, uh, scary movies, thrillers, or I guess the correct genre is horror films. I love old films. I can watch westerns all day, man. Like westerns that were made like in the 50s and the 60s, like them old, like Clint Eastwood, all them. I can watch those all day, man. Like I remember coming up, in my grandparents' house when, because I used to live in New York, originally from New York, they moved to Maryland, and my grandparents moved to Maryland, and so like I grew up watching two things during the day, actually three court TV shows, soap operas. Look, cause my grandfather he worked for a while. You know what I'm saying? He actually worked as an engineer on the set of the Cosby Show. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but during the day, my grandmother she did like she ran like a babysitting. You know what I'm saying? She had like a babysitting business, and so soap opera it'd be a little bit of cartoon, soap operas, court TV shows, and my grandfather got home, we would watch Western flicks and movies. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
like on his days off, we would just watch Western flicks all day. So I've always loved movies. I've always loved cinema, man.
Gotcha.
And
Right.
so
So let me ask you, how did you feel about how did you feel about like General Hospital?
General Hospital. Which one
But
did
that's
we?
none of my business.
I never write none of my. Hold on.
I'm joking, man. You ain't gotta answer that question, man. I know it was sports. I know
No,
you know
man.
about
No,
the
you know
on your
what?
own.
They never really watched. It was. I recall, if I recall correctly, it was All of My Children. That was the one they really watched. Like, word up, I remember it, man. So I mean, like I was saying, man, like
Right,
I
right, right.
just I knew, as far as if I wanted to do music, you know, it would be dope if I can shoot and edit some of my own videos or just get film of just different things, man, like nature and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna invest in my own camera. So I just started falling in love with it, man, and then music production, it was always something that's interested me. Like when I, was rapping in high school and even in college, like there were dudes that I knew on campus that, made beats or whatever. And so I
Right.
was just interested in, you know, um, making tracks. I would hear stuff in my head. I would get ideas and like, yo, if I had some equipment, I could do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I love with it. I've I guess some of my favorite producers right now,
Mm-hmm.
my inspiration. I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead of you, but I gotta.
It's cool. It's cool, man.
uh, Not like my inspirations, man. My number one favorite producer right now. I know, he's probably gonna laugh if he's in the chat room, if he's watching right now, if he sees this later. My mentor from Humble Beats, D Still. That is my favorite producer. That is the best producer in the world, right? No bias at all. Like he's number one, dog. Like number one. Um,
Nobody.
Nobody
No,
else
I'm
is
kidding.
seeing him. Not even. um, I like Timbaland. I love Illmind. There's some foreign producers that I'm into that if I drop names, people probably would never know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I'm inspired by those guys. Like I listen to all genres of music. Like that's one thing that I say as far as music and production is concerned that I love the most. How
Mm-hmm.
I found my sound as an artist
Ah,
is
nice.
listening to movie soundtracks. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
my favorite movie soundtrack of all time right now is Tron Legacy.
Sound
That's the
like.
joint. Yeah, that's the joint by Daft Punk. Did a lot of production on there. So yeah.
So let me ask you: is that like the original old school joint, or is that like the new one Disney came out with? I'm not too familiar, but just let
So,
us know, just in case we want to check it out.
right. So Tron Legacy is the new one that came out,
Okay.
the revamped version. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, So like it's I've seen the original. Of course, some people can't really appreciate it because they back then the way we look at special effects now it looks cheesy. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Right.
um, man, that's one of the that's my favorite all time joint. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's sort of like that with hip hop though too. We look back and some of us can just appreciate what Tribe was doing. What a lot of cats in the '80s and '90s was doing. We go like, wow, that's amazing. And then the
Yeah,
kids who see it now, there's all this technology in the movies and in the music, and they're like, I ain't really with that. That's
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
cheesy. So
yeah.
it's for the time period. So how would you describe your sound? Number one as a MC or as a spoken word artist and recording artist, and also as a producer. And is there a difference in your styles?
So ask that one time. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. So how would you describe your sound?
People asking me about the links and stuff like that, text me. I apologize, everybody. Wait, what did you say?
Nah, so it's all good. We real time. We real time. So yeah, we gotta make way for that. Now, so I was just asking. So how would you describe, your sound as a recording artist, as
Yeah.
an MC, and as a spoken word artist, as well as your sound as a producer? And is there a difference there?
Um, it's very. I would say it's different, man. Like
Okay.
I guess the soul sound that I love, like the foundation is. a cinematic style. If you know it, I like live instruments, violins, mixed with maybe a little bit of vintage analog synths, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, some of my favorite old that people may not know. People like vinyl. You might know some of these people like Tangerine Dream. They were instrumentalists. Lou Ponte, he's a violinist like Jean-Luc Ponte. I love Jean-Luc Ponte, man. Um, Tamida, they call him the electronic samurai. Like he's been killing analog since '72. You know what I mean? So um, I have listen to my music. I have the foundation is very cinematic. It's a little bit of old school. I like boom bap,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not all that I do.
Nice.
I'll rhyme over anything. I don't want to put myself in a box, but as far as the sound, I love cinematic, synthy, dramatic, sound. How I roll.
Nice. So you kind of like that epic sound, no matter what it is. It has to be something epic and cinematic. That's dope. Listen, we would love, man, just as listeners and as fans and fellow artists, man, we would love for you to share some of those things that inspired you, man. Some of those songs on social media. We see you on social media all the time. With that being said, family, I'm Blessed Soul Hip Hop. We're talking to my man Pat Jr. Pursuing Absolute Truth. We're talking about him as an artist, his upcoming project, where he's been, what he likes, who he is. If you all are viewing us on YouTube, you can check out his Twitter, MySpace, Instagram, Facebook pages in the video description below. So check that out. Like him. See what my man is up to. Again, talking to my man Pat Jr. Blessed Soul Hip Hop. Yeah.
I'm about to go ahead and post that right.
Nice. Okay. So, Pat, man, lately we've been seeing a flood of new songs, man. Tell us about this Just Because. I keep seeing this Just Because with these songs that you've been releasing. Tell us a little bit about those songs.
Word. So the Just Because series came out of a very weird. So before I guess because I know we're gonna talk about the album, but like when I was writing a lot of the content, I hear the echo. Oh shoot! Let me turn this sound down some.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. You still hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so when I was writing a lot of the content for the project, I've developed and learned how to kind of cipher through some of the songs. I've learned how to what's good material, what's not good material, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So I want to say like it was years ago, writing a lot of songs, going through different things, and I linked up with the homie. Yeah, see, people, hold on.
Yeah.
People are texting me. Yo, Bless, turn down your speaker.
Say what?
Turn down your speaker.
Turn down my speaker?
Yeah, turn down your volume.
Go, amigo.
What about now?
Mic check, mic check. How it sound?
You turn your volume down some?
Yeah. How do I sound now?
Oh no, the volume down on your computer.
Say what?
Turn the volume down on your computer.
Right. It's down. Can you hear me well, or am I distorted?
How are you getting feedback from mine onto yours?
Okay. I don't. I'm not getting any feedback from you at all. Everything you're saying is coming through crystal clear.
Let me see what everybody's saying.
Yeah. Is anyone else getting feedback? Negative feedback from my computer? Um, if a few of you don't mind, could you guys let me know in the Google, excuse me, in the YouTube comments if you're getting feedback from us or not? No. So I guess we all good.
See, yeah, I just got a text message from one of the homies. Turn down the volume down on your computer a little bit more.
All right. How do I sound now?
Let me see if I can hear myself. All right, I think that's good.
We good?
Here we go.
All right. All right. So for those of you who are just
There we
turning in, excuse me, tuning in, we're getting ready to talk about what we've been talking about. Pat Jr. Man, who is Pat Jr.? Him as an artist, his inspirations, upbringing, things of that nature. And before we get into touching on the album, we're talking about the Just Because series. For those of you who follow Pat Jr. on social media, I know we've all been seeing the Just Because songs being dropped. And Pat is just sharing with us that these are part of the series. So again, Pat, if you don't mind starting from scratch and telling us about where the Just Because series came from.
Here we go. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right. So, like I was saying, a couple years ago, I've been writing a lot of content, just going through, a lot of things in life. Um, I really didn't intend on writing a project. It was just more therapeutic for me, you know. So I'm writing a lot of these songs, just getting some of my emotions, my feelings out, my thoughts out. And finally, when I got together all the material, started looking at it, I'm like, yo, I can release a project, a mixtape, or whatever. Um, and that's how Nystagmus came about. That's how the project came about. So what ended up happening was in the recording process, like some of the songs that I had been, writing or working on. Like I said, as an artist, I've learned how to. I'm not the best at it, but I've learned how to sift through some of the songs that I write or material that I'm writing and see what's good, what's not good, what needs to be rewritten, or if I'm putting together an EP or a project, what doesn't fit. And just because Uno, produced by my homie D Still, uh, it didn't fit. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't fit as a whole with what I was trying to do. And so, it was dope. It was one of those tracks where one of my homies who helps me in my writing process, my dude Jerry Blackwell, he was like, "Yo, man, you should just write a track where you just spazzing, like just some rapidy rap, just rapping." You know what I mean? And so I was like, "Cool." So I wrote one of those tracks, and it actually ended up having some great content in it. It wasn't just rapidy rap, but it had some really good content in it. So I was like, but it still doesn't really fit. So I
Okay.
I took it off, and I'm like, "Yo, I still want to use this, but let me use this as content to, I guess, at the time I was rebranding myself, so let me release this content as new content as an artist who's trying to just rebrand himself, refine my skill and everything, and refine my vision as an artist. So I put it out there, man, and it got received really well. The homie Proverb, my dude Patrick, his name is Patrick as well, in VA. He's a writer. He's also a publicist. He posts a lot of media online as far as how to email blogs and market yourself as an artist. So he helped me get it out there, and the reception was just really good. Like a lot of people were shocked. They were like, "Yo, this joint is crazy. It's really good. Like I didn't know you could rap like this." And so that's how I noticed the growth. And so I was like, "Yo, the basic idea for Just Because was let me just put out this project just because. Like let me put this track out just because." So I was like, yo, I'm gonna do a one-off series just because. Just put out, random stuff that may be on my mind that doesn't fit with, my project quite well. But it's good content. You know what I mean? So, let me put this stuff out. And it's kind of like one of those projects where each just because like it doesn't have a title, there's no title of the song. You have to listen to it and decipher what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you as a listener, you have to listen to it. It's like going to a museum, and seeing abstract paintings. Like, of course, you can see the shapes. Of course, you can identify with the shapes if there's a gender, stuff like that. But a lot of people who look at abstract art, like they kind of have to interpret how the painter was feeling. Like if I see a splatter, like just random splatters of red paint, like of different shades and black on the wall, I might feel like, yo, the artist was angry when he did that. You know what I'm saying? And it
Right.
happened. Put it out there as his art. Like there's no picture or no painting of him angry. You just see different shades of red and black, and he's depressed or mad or angry or whatever. So that's how just because series I wanted to come across. So yeah, that's how it came about.
Nice, nice, man. So it's just really just kind of flexing, man. Just kind of flexing on the mic a little bit, some lyrical prowess, so to speak.
A little bit, just a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. So tell us about the names, man. I see that the names that were used were Uno. Is that Deuce,
Do do. Yes, it's
Do,
de is French for two.
Duh. Okay. And what
Yeah.
about and then there's the Dre. Is that Dre or Dry?
Yeah, the drei. It's three. It's
Dry.
German for three.
And again,
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna
I'll
ask
be
about the
honest.
meaning. Uh huh.
Say it
No, I said I was gonna ask about the meanings, but then again, it's just because. So, because I see we have the two Romance languages, look like Spanish, French, and then you got the Dry. You know what I mean? I was just trying to follow the
again.
just because I got you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell us
So
about the
so
last two songs there. We got the Do and then the Dry.
okay. Okay. So the second one, just because two features my homie Abiv, my homie Antoine from Cali. He's a tremendous singer and writer. I actually produce most of the track, but I'm a part of which I haven't really put out there yet. So if you're watching this, you get to know a little bit about it. I'm a part of a collective of producers called the Metronomics, and so it's me
Okay.
and two members of the Winner Circle, my dude Tony G, and my dude Justin Peelam. We call him JP for short, and so I produced the majority of it, and I had my buddy JP come in, and we kind of agreed to like everybody who touches something, you know what I mean, that the name Metronomic goes in there. So he came in and he put some keys on it, he put the strings on it, and so um, initially the idea was kind of like. Um, yeah, I made the track and I was just making it just to make it. It wasn't like, I'm gonna write to this. But when I heard it, I was like, okay, I really feel like I want to write to this. So I started writing the Just Because Part Two, which is just talking about being unsure in life. Not being 100% sure of the direction you're supposed to be going, not just as an artist, but as a human being. Like,
Right.
I got married at a young age. I've been married for 4 years now. Love my wife. But I spent
Congrats.
the project talks about it. Like, thank you. Uh, the project talks a lot about just my growth and my progress, but as far as just finding out who I am, like I wasn't sure. Like a lot of people, some people don't, but many of us we went to college, we graduated. After we graduated, we're trying to find this job. We're trying to find that 5-figure, 6-figure job or whatever how much we feel like we're worth. And so I went through that. I went through going to school, even getting my master's, and then, after that, not being able to find a job, being
Mm.
jobless, searching for a job, even trying to find a job that I was overqualified for, thinking, maybe they'll hire me, because I'm somewhat overqualified, but I'm not totally, or you know what I mean? Like just trying to get like a Walmart job or whatever it is and getting rejected. And so it's
Right.
like,
So this song was really. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna say this song is really just kind of fleshing out your identity through these struggles and
yeah,
where you thought you would be as opposed to where you're at.
right. And so it's like, y'all went to school, got my education, did all this stuff like to, you know what I mean? Like I did all these things to prepare myself for the corporate world or, to take care of my family and my home or whatever. And it's like, okay, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why is anything happening? I felt like I took the right steps to get to where I needed to go, and I'm not there yet. So I'm frustrated, you
Mm.
know. Um, and so, that's why you hear the hook, like, A-Biv, wrote pretty much like, yo, like, I can't carry this weight on my own, like, is this the place where I'm supposed to be right now in life? Did I screw up? Did I mess something up? Um, and then the second verse is like, okay, now that I've gotten to this point where I figured out what the craft that God has given me and what He wants me to do with them, I'm contending with other contemporaries or other peers who do the same thing. And the direction I'm going in, like I'm seeing everybody else, like, yo, they killing it right now.
Mm.
And why I'm not there? Like, why am I not there? Like, I feel like I'm good enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that I'm talented enough. I'm not the best in the world, but I know my stuff isn't trash. You know what I mean? Like, I know I have good content. I know that I'm a good videographer. I know that I'm a solid music producer. And so it's like, man, I see everybody else killing it. Stuff that other people go through, I'm sure they do. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Right.
don't like to admit, but I had to humble myself and say, like, okay, God, wherever you have me to be, that's where I'm gonna be. You know.
Right.
And so the song kind of ends on that note because at the end, A-Biv, and I specifically told him, like, at the end, I want it to be somewhat of a resolution, but not. So it's like
Mm.
I ended that time in my life with, and I still go through it sometimes now, but I ended that time of my life like, okay, I'm kind of sure. No, I know where I want to go. I'm not really content with where I want to be,
Mm.
and it's like, okay, God, all I could do is just trust in you, and that's it.
Right.
I'm not gonna be concerned about sales, shows, likes, comments. Like I'm just gonna do what you gave me to do, and I'm gonna put it in your hands, and you're in control, and that's all I can do right now.
Word is bond.
And
Salute.
so
Salute for
yeah,
that
man,
one. I think
like
that's that song is really dope too, man. I think it really speaks to the heart of a lot of people's issues,
appreciate it.
even though our issues are not specifically that. That's a really, really dope song, man, that I think a lot of the people will enjoy as a segue into your album. And briefly, if you don't mind sharing with us the Dry. That was one for Wifey, right?
Say it one more time.
And now I said, if you don't mind sharing with us real briefly, just about the last song in that series, which was
Oh,
Dry,
okay.
and that one was for
Yeah.
Wifey, right?
So the last joint
Right.
was for the wife, man.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, man. Last just because it was for the wife. Um, it was purposely for our anniversary. I think I'm getting feedback again, yo. Might have to turn it down a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, so the last joint, was for the wife. Um, and so we just recently, like I said earlier, celebrated our fourth marriage anniversary
Okay.
on June 6th. So I was real sneaky about it.
It's a good thing in this case, in this instance, a sneaky husband in this
Right,
instance. Right.
so I was real sneaky about it. Um, and so I we were kind of talking and see what we wanted to do, and she was like, you know what, it's been a while since you, and I had already planned on doing this, but she was like, you know what, it's been a while since you written me a poem or a spoken word, and I was just kind of like, you know. And so I had already planned on doing it, man. And so I've been working with my DJ slash producer of mine, friend, brother, love him to death, my man Rodney Finch Jr., aka Slums, and he produced the track. Yo, the track alone is just it's crazy. It's fire, man. It's the Brian McKnight sample. Um, so it's one of like the first few beats that he let me hear. And so I when I heard it, I was like, yo, I have to use that. I don't know what it's gonna be for, but I'm gonna use it. And so yeah, I got a hold of it, man, and I had been holding on to it for a little while. And so then finally, man, what I mean, I started writing to it, and I was honest, that's all I can say. Like in the song, it's not one of those. A lot of people hear um marriage songs. And I could be wrong. I don't want to assume. I don't want to overgeneralize, but I think a lot of the times we hear love songs that are super happy and not honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I wanted to make this one honest. And so you hear a little bit of the problems that we go through. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? In the first verse, in the second verse, I want to in our relationship and outside of our
Right.
relationship. Um, but nevertheless, like I said in the song, what God put together, no man could split. You know what I mean?
I
So
think it's
yeah,
really
so of
dope to hear.
course,
I think it's really dope to hear a love song that really just deals with the issues of life, real issues, real marriage and hip hop. Period. So you know what I mean. So salute
yeah,
to you for that. That's a big deal already in our culture. We don't really see that. So I think that's dope in itself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Of course, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. When she heard it, she did cry. So just wanted to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Had the wifey
Right.
in tears. So yeah,
Mission accomplished.
yo, and yeah,
I hope. I hope it ain't the opposite.
yeah.
'Cause it's either mission
Nah,
accomplished or a
nah.
mission you screwed it up, man.
Yo, she was happy with it, man. Like
All
she
right,
loved
cool.
it. She loved it. Like I want to give a shout out to everybody who joined the event privately on Facebook prior to me releasing it, and like some of her homegirls on Facebook was going to her Facebook page or her wall saying, I know something you don't know," like teasing her and whatnot. It was hilarious, man.
That's
It
dope,
was
man.
hilarious.
That's dope. So Pat, let's get into this album, man. So we got an
Yeah,
album dropping.
finally. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about this new project, man. First of all, what's the name of the project?
Okay. So the name of the project is Nystagmus. All right.
Nystagmus.
And yes, Nystagmus is a eye disorder. It's an eye disease, and the definition is the rapid shifting of the eyes. Okay. And the way I came up with it was crazy, or I can't even give credit to myself. Um, so I like I said, I have been writing all this material and started trying to figure out what I wanted to release. You know what I mean? What I wanted to put together a concept or whatever. And so at first I was thinking like, oh, I'll do a mixtape, and put out the mixtape and have it be the prelude to the In Betweens Part Two, which is the purpose of Nystagmus, on Nystagmus to be
Right.
the prelude to the In Betweens Part Two, and I'll talk about that at a later time. But anyway, so I knew that I wanted the project to be about refocusing some kind of way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just didn't know exactly, you know, what the title was going to be. I wanted to be creative with it. I didn't want it to be just, what I mean, like um, basic. Um, Hold on one second.
Right.
I'm seeing, I'm seeing in the comments there's a little fever. All right. So like I was saying, uh, oh man, louder. You might have to turn your volume down. Darn you, Facebook. I'm getting these chat messages like, yo, I'm hearing the feedback again, son.
Oh man.
All right, here we go. Let me see. Good. All right, cool. All right, so like I said, I'm writing this material, and so a coworker of mine at my last job, she sits a few seats down from me, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, God, like I need a name for this project. You know what I mean? Like I need something that's gonna be meaningful, something that expresses the refocusing of myself, and my perspective on life, because that's what transpired in the last few years. So she walks up to me. I didn't know what the name of the disease was, or of the odyssey was, but then she came up to me. She was asking me a question about something, and I, her eyes were shaking. Like when I first met her, I saw it, but when I saw it, I was like, that's it. And so I looked up the disease of the disorder, and it was nystagmus. And so nystagmus is a double entendre. For those of you, for people who, hold on real quick, get more notifications. Sorry about this, y'all.
Don't forget, family, we live, so just bear with us. We got to deal with the issues as they come up. So we're getting a little bit of feedback.
Yeah,
Pat's gonna try to answer that.
try to turn your side down more, some more
Try to turn my side down some more.
on your own computer.
Yo, Spanish dude, Akande Davis. That's a wild dude right there, man. How you know I ain't Arabic or biracial, homie? Nah, I'm just kidding, man. Nah, it's love, man. How do I sound now? Am I
That's
okay?
better. I guess they can hear me. That's what they're hearing.
Oh, they can hear you. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, they hear me through your speakers here, so that's better. Yeah, there we go. All
Oh, is it
right,
better now?
so
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Apologize for that, fam.
All right. So here we go. So like I was saying, like so I saw that my coworker had the eye disorder, the nystagmus. I didn't know what the name was. I looked it up, and so if anybody has seen the trailer for the project, nystagmus focuses on identity and perspective. And so it's a double entendre. So nystagmus in the fact of identity, the things that I went through, the past events and trials and tribulations I went through, um, it constantly shifted me as a person, as a person, emotionally, mentally, and just different directions. It was just constantly things just happening, it shifted me back and forth. And then my eyes, it shifted my perspective on people in life, good or bad,
Right.
constantly back and forth. So it's a double entendre. And Nystagmus deals with identity and perspective. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
I've
man.
seen it. That is, I definitely see the double, triple entendre there, man. But I will say this, man, it is wild how we get, just how we get some of our best ideas from some of the weirdest things,
Yeah, yeah.
So, the coworker walking up, that's a bug that's, but she's not on the Google Hangout, is she?
Who?
The coworker with nystagmus.
No, see, no.
But that's none of my business. I'm just kidding.
You trying to do me in, son?
Nah, it's love though, man.
Oh man.
Okay, cool, man. So tell us, man, when are you releasing the single? When we get to hear a single from the joint, man?
So, real quick, everybody who's online, I'm about to go ahead and post this single cover art now. We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Release date. Got it set up right here. Here we go. Excuse me for a
All right, at the request of the people, I'm gonna put some headphones on. Let me know if this helps out with the sound. All right. Cool. My man asked if we have Boost mobile internet.
Yeah, I know, man. Harsh, that's my homie descendant, man.
Right, he's watching from his Boost mobile phone, but that's none of my business. All right, man. So, all right. So, Pat, you so you're gonna go ahead and release the cover art for us, man. Let us check that out on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, I'm about to do that right now. Hold on one second.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah. All right. My man is cracking me up in these comments, man. All right, so for those of you guys just tuning in, I'm Blessed Soul Hip Hop, aka just call me Blessed. We talking to my man Pat Jr. Pursuing Absolute Truth. We're talking about his brand new album, Nystagmus, and the concept behind that. For all of you who are not following Pat, go ahead and check him out at www.iampatjr.com. That's his personal website. You can also check him out at www.twitter.com/IamPatJr. Check him out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/IamPatJr. SoundCloud, I think you get the idea, /IamPatJr. So check my man out. He'll be posting some of his inspiration, some of his inspiration for his musical background. He'll be posting like you just said, cover art for the new album, and he'll be dropping some singles. Also, don't forget to check out some of the series, the music from his series, the Just Because series that he's been dropping as a prelude to this new album, Nystagmus. All right?
There we go. It's up now. It's live.
Nice.
There we go.
Cool. All right, can y'all hear me out there a little bit better?
You said what now?
So y'all can hear me out there a little bit better?
Yeah. I can hear you. We don't hear the feedback.
No feedback. All right, cool. So, so Pat, let me ask you a question, man. With this new album, I remember before, you had mentioned about some rebranding, um, somewhere along the way. So tell me about a little bit about who you feel your audience is. Who are the people you speak to, and what's the message that you're trying to convey as an artist, but also with this Nystagmus album?
All right. So,
Yeah.
um, I feel like as an artist, I am for the everyday person. I don't have like a a crazy story, if you will. Like, I've never been in a gang, or I haven't, been to jail or been around, or dealt drugs and anything crazy like that. You know what I mean? Like, I respect people and their stories as far as where they came from, but I had a good upbringing. I was surrounded by some of that stuff, but I never, dived into it like I was raised in church. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just that everyday dude trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like my music is for that everyday person who um, is trying to do the right thing in life, who, people who are looking for inspiration, you know what I mean? People who, who are young, married, I'm trying to get through different situations. And so what I'm trying to do is share my experiences and the things that I've been through to help people get through those situations in life, and just like I said, everyday dude, like, the person who got laid off trying to find a job right now, like person who's trying to pay back Sally Mae. You know what I'm saying? Like the person who's, what I'm saying, like trying behind on bills. You jacked up your credit when you was in college and you trying to, you trying to do the right thing now. You know what I mean? Like the person who is fighting against peer pressure, negative influence, you know what I mean? Who hates ratchetness, you know.
Right.
Um, so I'm just that everyday dude, man. Like one of the I guess one of the rappers that inspired me because I do listen to Christian hip hop. The Truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he, on his first album, the joint I Ain't Got No Horror Story. God kept me in my youth. I give him all the glory. You know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
that's my story. Like I don't have like a crazy story. I'm just the everyday dude who's trying to make to love God, love people, and make great art. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Nice, man. So can the hustlers and the gangsters and the dealers, man, and the ex-hustlers, gangsters and dealers, man, can we get down with your music too?
yeah, man, for sure. You know what I mean? Like they could definitely take a peep into my life, man, and see what's going on with me, and hopefully be inspired, man, to do the right thing. So yeah, man.
No doubt, no doubt. So let me ask you a question, man. This is just a little bit of social commentary, if you will. You said you hate ratchetness. You're a person who hates the ratchetness. So man, how do you? You might be the only person in the whole world, according to the social media stats, because we love ratchetness. No, I'm just kidding. I don't love the ratchetness that much. All right, so how do you feel about the whole like world star phenomena? I think I'd be remiss if I didn't. We'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the whole world star. You know what I mean? Got to film that. How you
uh,
feel about that, man?
like yo, like World Star, man, like it's ratchet. like like man, like honestly, like overall World Star, I wouldn't tell anybody to go to World Star.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't say, yo, go to World Star and check out this video unless um, there was a video because sometimes they do post positive things. You know what I mean? But I still, even then, I still wouldn't tell them to go to the site. I would give them
Right.
the original link, which is on YouTube or something like that. Um, uh, Worldstar has its moments. There are very few moments where they'll post spoken word that Jackie Hill did, or my dude Cedric Horde. He did a spoken word about um, materialism. I think it's called like New Jordans or something like that. And
Right.
how just the black community, how the minorities, like we get in lines every day. Like we get in lines the release day of Jordans, and we wait overnight, and
Right.
all this we fight, we kill over Jordans. Like it happens. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so he talks about it and is like, yo, like that's not important. Like that's minuscule. And he uses his art to point to God. So, you know, at those moments, I see it, like I'll see it on Facebook. It's been posted on WorldStar, and I'm like, great job, WorldStar. But everything else is just is
Right. So you give them their props when they deserve it, man.
like yo, like one thing I can't stand. One of my social media pet peeves is seeing those fights. Like I can't stand like seeing those fights when kids are getting beat up. Like you know what I'm saying? Like people fighting in the streets,
Yeah.
beating each other to a pulp, like fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, blacks fighting blacks. You know, because that's the majority of what we see. You know, and some racist people. Excuse me, folks. I'm gonna be honest. Like, look at these coons fighting each other. You know what I mean? Like that's how people, you know what I'm saying? Like they laugh at it. They think it's entertaining. They think it's hilarious, you know? And they
And
laugh
even for
at
those, I think, even for those who don't, I think even for those who don't necessarily, they're not necessarily racist. That's how we're portrayed. That's how World Star is pumping and pushing us. You know what I mean? So that's people's idea of our culture. You know what I mean? So
it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
that's
So
whack. Yeah,
yeah, man, I can't stand seeing that. Can't like people be killing the twerk videos. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
yeah,
that's what I would never like. The dude I can't remember. I think his name was Z, but the dude who ran the South when before it came Jam the Hype.
Trey
Um,
Nine.
I think
Huh?
his name was no, I think it was Z. Like dude's name was Z. The guy who
Okay.
wrote the article Z. He said like, "Yo, World Star Hip Hop is a I would call." He said I would categorize it as a porn site, and I agree. You
Right.
know, that's just my opinion. But
Right.
if I had to change World Star Hip Hop name, like somebody who bought the website URL ratchet.com and World Star came to their senses and wanted to change it to ratchet.com, yo, that person would make a lot of money. Because that's what it is, man.
Perfect. Until people stop using the word ratchet, but
Yeah,
for wretched.
I think
But
it's overused. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I think the word dope is overused too. Like I'm starting to
yeah,
use it less. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So yeah, man.
Nice, nice, man. I thought that was kind of important to touch on. And real quick, man, just on the current events that man, we want to know. Well, I like to know. I think maybe some of the people would like to get your perspective. Nothing too deep, man. Just how do you feel about what we're seeing as far as the Israel and Palestinian conflict out there in the supposed Middle East?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I woke up this past Sunday, and was talking to a homie of mine,
Hmm.
about it, and like, um, I was just like, sometimes I have to. It's hard because a lot of like the first thing I look at or the first thing me and my wife see when we wake up is the news. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's cool. You get to hear traffic, weather, all that stuff is going on. And then sometimes it's like you wake up to hearing bad news and it's sometimes it could set the tone of the day. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so I woke up Sunday morning, and heard this, they were talking about um, the airstrikes, the rockets that
Hmm.
Gaza was firing on Israel, and like how some of Israel's air defense systems were taking out those rockets, but most of them got by, and they're blowing up people's houses, innocent people's houses. You know what I'm saying? Like children, young women and children, wives, and you know what I'm saying? Like people are getting, elderly people, like they're just getting hit by random rockets,
Right.
and getting injured or they're getting killed, and it's sad, man. Like I'm praying for the war over there that it can come to an end. The way it's looking is not looking too good. Um, but I'm praying for those people over there. But I'm also like thankful, like man, like I could have been born over there. One of my wife could have been like anybody could have been born over there. And if you're here in the States, like we go through this, there's poverty here, people being laid off, people staying in the same apartment for 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Rated like you still working minimum wage. Like, yo, be thankful
Right.
that, you know what I'm saying, like you're not over there. and your apartment and your house is not getting fired upon randomly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like these people just hate you because of who you are, what you know, who you worship. Like these, like you know what I'm saying? Like they're just random. They're not targeting specific people. They're just blowing up everybody you know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so it's like, yo, I'm content, man. Like I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, thank God for being able to get a new job and move up in the world and stuff like that.
Right.
But when I look at that, I'm like, God, if you never move me anywhere else, like like yo, I still have my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm not under that, you know, I'm not living there. And so it's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a cause for us to be grateful and, be in prayer, man, for all the people involved, all the children and people who are all the innocent involved. You know what I mean? That's a wild situation out there. For those of you tuning in, we actually toward the end of this interview in Google Hangout. Thank you for joining us. Again, I'm Blessed Soul Hip Hop with my man Pat Jr. If you're not already following him on social media, check out the video description below the video to get some of those sites and check out anything from his new album work, album cover work to the single cover work for Nystagmus and just everything else he posts, man. Pat is a real deep, interesting, philosophical guy, man, and just a really dope artist, man. So check him out on social media to get the latest and greatest updates. So Pat, with that being said, man, can you share a couple lines, some of your favorite lines from the Stagnus with us, from the new album?
Um, this dude, man.
Nah, go
Um,
ahead and freestyle, man. Never mind, just
I,
freestyle. I'm just kidding.
I would say, so like yeah, so I ended with, um, some lines from let me talk about it a little bit because I know we were going to, so the single,
Right.
I posted it on Facebook, Twitter. Um, Hard Times Equals Motivation is going to be released, produced by the homie D Still, is going to be released on July the 22nd, next Tuesday. And so
Okay.
that song, like what I like about this project, what I'll say about this project, like it's it's um it's a very timely project, so it's very relevant to where like where I am. I wouldn't say where I am now, um, but like it didn't happen too long ago. Like it's very fresh,
Right.
and so like this, it's not a project where you can listen. Like some of the songs, you can't just listen to one and get the context of it. Like it tells a story, you know. I had the honor of doing some really legit, and I thank my wife for the permission and her being willing to do some skits, some real situation skits, um, and on the project or whatnot. And so, you know, it's a story. It tells a story. And so, Hard Times Equals Motivation is one of those songs that I could put out as a single because you don't have to really hear the context. I'm not gonna. I don't want to tell a whole lot because I want people to hear. You know what I'm saying? Um, the entire the entire project and its context. But Hard Times Equals Motivation is my mentality now. It's based off. I am a Bible reader and I am a Christian, so in reading my word, I was reading James chapter 1 when I was going
Mm-hmm.
through, you know, everything I was going through, and so the scripture says that in trials and tribulations, everything that you go through, count it all joy. You know, all the and see in the NIV version it says, um, see these trials and tribulations. Count it all joy is translated to see it as a sheer gift from God. And
Mm-hmm.
the natural reader or even some Christians may be like, what? Like see it as a gift from God? Like really? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so yeah, like those things that you go through, those bad times, those ugly times are meant to build your character. And that's life, you know what I'm saying, for people.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's life for people. Things that you go through. Those hard times are meant to build your character. And so the hard times that I go through are my motivation because I know that the things like me getting laid off, all these things that have happened, I realize now, even now, today, the things that happen that catch me off guard or are bad that happen, like I know, yo, this is, of course, when they initially happen, you're not like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's not what James meant.
right. But like when you take a minute to think like, yo, I see what's going on. I know this is meant for my good. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna learn from this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna grow from this. So it's like you get motivated, like I'm gonna take this on, you know?
Right.
And so yeah, I mean that is it. And the last line in the first verse is this is parkour and a harsh course with scotch poured on your charred sores hardcore. So like this, I tried to give. I didn't want to be too extreme with the exaggeration, but just to give you a visual picture of somebody doing parkour on a harsh course with scotch poured on charred sores. Like this is a hardcore journey in life. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like everybody goes through certain things, and you know what I mean. You know, we can't. I don't want to. I don't want to look at somebody compare somebody's mother dying to somebody being laid off and being a single parent with three kids. I don't want to say which is worse because in each person's lives, like they're both really bad. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I wanted to
Right.
give a depiction of like, yo, whatever's bad for you, like
Mm-hmm.
we gonna eat these tribulations for breakfast. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you know,
Right.
we gonna eat these tribulations for breakfast. You know, storms in
Mm-hmm.
caffeine form. That's the method. You know, and let that be your motivation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing that joint, man. I'm excited.
Nice, man. That's dope, man. So definitely about perspective over situational things, man. It's all about our perspective about that. That's really dope, man. So again, family, it's been cool hanging with you, hanging with my man Pat Jr. pursuing absolute truth. Again, check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of that. If you're watching this via YouTube, you can check out all of those links below the video. Again, I'm blessed. So hip hop has been a pleasure chopping it up and hanging out with you guys. So salute, Pat. We looking forward to the new album, Nystagmus, man.
Yes,
Looking forward
sir.
to it, man.
So yeah, man. Everybody tune in to my website and all that stuff, social media. The next thing I have a couple of other things lined up in release of the project. If you're on Facebook, I have a private group going on right now. I post a status up and see if anybody else is interested. I have a private group up right now where I'm just talking, getting to know people on social media, sharing some of my life events and everything, and getting some perspective from them. But people are able to listen to the music early. People in the group have already seen the album artwork early. Um, they'll get to hear the single early. So if anybody is interested, I got a video, just shot a video. My lovely wife actually shot it. She's my wife is a photographer, but she has some serious videographer skills, yo. Like she
Right.
got one up on me right now, dog. You know what I'm saying? So we just got finished shooting the video for um you know what I'm saying, the one of the songs off the project, which will contain a release date for the project, and the Nystagmus is slated to be released in the fall. So yeah, man.
Dope, man. Dope. So shout out to the wife too, man, and we'll definitely, man, looking forward to seeing some more work put out here, man. Looking forward to the album, man. Again, man, it's been a pleasure just chopping it up with you, Pat. Um, And look, family, we look forward to building with the rest of y'all too, man. If you guys are interested in following me, I'm on Facebook as well. BLESSOULHRPHOP, Bless Soul Hip Hop. Holla at me again, man. Check out my man Pat Jr.'s new album, Nystagmus. Look out for the single. And check out the Just Because series before we get there, man. All right, salute, fam. Peace.
All right, peace.